He was leaving his house, he slipped, there was ice, and he fell down, he broke his leg. Okay. They took him to the hospital, the Credit Valley Hospital. With a broken leg, he was on his bed. So he called his son and he said, come to the hospital, I need you. On the way, please bring me some tea, any tea. So his son, okay, he said, okay. Do you want the regular tea or the Morocco mint tea? Okay, this for you, and this for you. Okay. His father said, just any tea, regular tea, regular tea. So his son said, okay, do you want the tea with sugar or honey? La hawla wa la quwwata. This for you. And I'll keep this for myself. So his son said, okay, Tim Hortons or just something else? He said, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. He said, Tim Hortons. Then his son said, okay, do you want the large one or the small one? His father said, you know what? Don't come. His father died of a heart attack. Anyway, so the story reminds me of something, some ayat I recited last night from Surah Baqarah. Do you know which story I'm referring to? Yeah. Which one? Yeah. MashaAllah, you will get the cup.
Empty one.
We'll give you sugar after. So, the story of the cow, Bani Israel. Ayah 67 to Ayah 73. So Musa alayhi salam, you know the background. Someone was killed by his nephew because his nephew wanted him to die so he can't take his inheritance, so he killed his uncle. Okay. They didn't know who did it. So what they did, they went to Musa alayhi salam. They did a bit of investigation. They couldn't find the killer. So they went to Musa alayhi salam. He prayed to Allah, so he revealed to him, asked him to slaughter any cow. Any cow they find. The first cow they meet in the street, they kill, they will know the killer. So Bani Israel, just like the guy in the story, they said, okay, how old is the cow? I just told you, any cow. How old? You know, la faridun wa la bikr. Not old, not young. They said, okay. What color? Because there is white, there is yellow, brown, blue. What color? He said, yellow. They said, what does it do? What is the function of the cow? Do they use it to till the ground or to carry water? And at the end, they were asking him questions, making his life difficult. Then at the end, فَذَبَحُوهَا وَمَا كَانُوا يَفْعَلُونَ. Even after he told them all descriptions in the world, they hesitantly did it. They didn't want to do it at the end, right? So people make things difficult for no reason. There are so many examples in the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ where the Prophet ﷺ made things easy and people try to make it difficult. Like this hadith, when the Prophet ﷺ, he did Hajj one time. The Prophet ﷺ did one Hajj, right? So someone came to him. The Prophet ﷺ said, Allah has made it an obligation on you to make Hajj, so make Hajj. So someone came and said, Ya Rasulullah, should we make Hajj every year? The Prophet ﷺ didn't answer. So again he said, Ya Rasulullah, should we make Hajj every year? Make it every year. The Prophet ﷺ turned away from him. Should we make Hajj every year? The Prophet ﷺ said, I didn't say anything. Why do you make it difficult for everyone? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told you to make Hajj, so khalas, it's once. If you are able to do more, do more. But if I obligate Muslims to make Hajj every year, it would be impossible for people to make Hajj. Another example, Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, a great Sahaba. He came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, Ya Rasulullah, I'm a strong man. I want to fast. So the Prophet ﷺ said, okay, Ramadan. He said, I can fast more. So the Prophet ﷺ said, okay, 3 days of every month. He said, I can do more. I have to do more. So the Prophet ﷺ said, Mondays and Thursdays. He said, I should do more. The Prophet ﷺ said, take it easy. He said, no, I want to do more. Okay? Fast, the fasting of Dawood alayhi salam, every other day. So you fast, for example, Monday, Tuesday break. Then Wednesday, Thursday break, and so on and so forth. He said, I can do more. I can fast every day. So the Prophet ﷺ said, no, there is nothing better than the fasting of Dawood every other day. 70 years later, Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu became very old and became frail and sick, and he couldn't fast. And he used to blame himself and he used to tell himself, the Prophet ﷺ told you Ramadan only. You said, no, I want to fast more. 3 days, no, I want to fast more. Mondays, no, every day. Now I can't fast. So he felt very sorry because the Prophet ﷺ made it easy for him and he made it difficult for himself. Sometimes we do the same thing. You know, when you go to Islamic Finder, they have different times, but you can go with the default they have. How it works, there are like 15 different ways to calculate the time for prayers. So you can calculate at the angle of 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, all the way to 18. What Islamic Finder did, they take the middle one, 15, and this is the default. But it doesn't mean that each and every one of the rest are wrong. They are all acceptable because they are based on ijtihad. None of them is supported by hadith, they are based on ijtihad. So this is why sometimes you are praying Isha, you took one of the other ways of calculations which is acceptable, and you hear phones ringing all the time like 15 minutes after, and people see, my phone is right, you are wrong. They are all acceptable in Islam, and the Prophet ﷺ always made it easy for the people. One time he wanted to pray Isha very late, like in the middle of the night. When he went to the masjid, according to the hadith in Bukhari, the people in the masjid were snoring. They were tired the whole day. And the Prophet ﷺ said, no more. We're going to pray Isha 1 hour and 15 minutes or 1 hour 30 minutes as we normally do. He didn't do it. Sometimes we do the same thing for Taraweeh. The Prophet ﷺ said, if you pray with the Imam until he is done, you will get the reward. He didn't specify. And the scholars say the minimum for Qiyam is 1 rak'ah. There is no maximum. So if the Imam prays 8 and witr, alhamdulillah, you will get the whole reward. If he prays 22 witr, you will get the reward, alhamdulillah. If he prays 30, you will get the reward. Just follow the Imam. Islam is easy, but we make it difficult. I know, inshallah, Jum'ah, I'm going to tell you some stories about Muslims who fight over Taraweeh and over this and over that. Islam is easy, we make it difficult. I'll conclude with the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. He used to say, يَسِّرُوا وَلَا تُعَسِّرُوا وَبَشِّرُوا وَلَا تُنَفِّرُوا. Every time the Prophet ﷺ sent someone to make da'wah, he would tell him, make it easy for people, don't make it difficult. Give good news, don't drive people away from Islam, don't make people miserable. Islam is to make your life easy, not to make you miserable. Wallahu a'lam. So the question for last night, there are so many surahs in the Quran that are named after prophets like Yunus alayhi salam, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Ibrahim, Hud, so on and so forth. There is only one surah in the Quran that is named after a man who is not a prophet. There's only one surah. A man who is not a prophet, and the winner is Sister Yasmin Mustafa. She might be in the back, we'll give her the prize after. The question for tonight is difficult. Again, ta'ala Yasmin. Assalamu alaikum.
What is the answer?
The answer is Luqman alayhi salam. Luqman. He was not a prophet. بالإجماع. أحسنت ياسمين. بارك الله فيك. جزاك الله خير. Takbir. My daughter.
No connection. She did fight it too?
Okay, the question for tonight, every ayah in the Quran, every surah in the Quran was either revealed in Mecca or Medina. There are only 2 ayat in the Quran that were revealed in the heavens when the Prophet ﷺ went for the night journey, Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. 2 ayat were revealed in the Sama al-Sabi'a in the 7th heaven. 2 ayat only. If you know the answer, email me before tomorrow Asr at Imam Mustafa at Anatolia Center.ca. Jazakumullah khair. Stawu.